Okay.
Craig is 40 years old and today he's dislocated his shoulder. He's fallen onto his outstretched arm with relatively minor force while playing soccer with his children. He is 8 out of 10 constant pain, and that's exacerbated with any movement. Craig has a history of shoulder dislocations and states a high level of reduction success using the modified Koch's technique. Sample: Craig has no allergies or other medical history. He takes no regular medications. His food and fluid intake is normal, as is his bladder and bowel function. Our secondary survey shows no other injuries. My colleague has done a full set of vitals. They're all within normal range. Craig is well perfused. So Craig, firstly I'm just going to inspect your shoulders. I could just come down here please. And I'm looking for obvious deformity by comparing his good shoulder with his injured shoulder. And I'm looking for an obviously anterior deformity and a lowered shoulder. And it becomes obvious that this is an anterior dislocation. I'm just palpating to ensure that there's no acromioclavicular joint dislocation or fracture of the humerus, as a reduction would be contraindicated in this, because of this, and he would be transported to ED. Craig, can you just hold my hands just gently? Can you squeeze my fingers? Great. It's got good colour, it's nice and warm, and he's got equal pulses, and they're nice and strong and regular. So our limb baselines are intact. So, Craig, what I'd like to do is administer both IV analgesia and methoxyfluorine, which is an inhaled analgesia, and those should work together to help me reduce it. So what I need to do is pop an IV line in, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to get my colleague to just go through a checklist to make sure it's safe to give you the inhaled analgesia, and should explain how to use it. And of course, both these drugs will be checked by both my colleague and myself. Okay, I'll just take a good arm. And Wendy, if you could just run through those contraindications for them, please.
Craig, I've heard that you're able to obey commands. Have you ever had methoxyfluorine before?
Yes.
Have you had it in the last week?
No.
Have you ever heard of malignant hypothermia? Okay, so you have no family history of that you know of? No. Have you got any renal impairment? Any problems with your kidneys?
No.
All right, so here is the canister.
Thank you.
Okay, need you to breathe in and out of that hole and put your finger over the hole at the top of it. And that's it, and breathe nice and deeply in and out.
That's great. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, Craig, can I just have this arm for a moment? Okay, Craig's well perfused. He's healthy with no medical issues. So I'm actually going to administer 30 micrograms of fentanyl. Okay. Right, if you can breathe on that. Some nice, long, slow breaths. Nice, long, slow breaths. Okay. Now, normally this would be done really slowly, this technique, over 2 to 3 minutes. However, as it's a scenario, I'm simply going to demonstrate it. Okay, Craig, how are you going there? How's the pain? Okay, let's just give you a little more fentanyl. Just relax. Good point. Okay, so nice deep breaths. There you go. Okay, you've had this done before, remember? Relax, let me do the work. Okay, so we're just going to rotate externally, nice and slow. That's it. Keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Well done. Well done. Now we're going to adduct. That's it. Keep going, keep breathing. And I'm just going to gently massage the humerus, humeral head to help it. And we get a nice clunk. Do you feel that? Okay, let's bring it down. Nice and gently. You can stop breathing on that now if you like. That's it. And just pop it into there. How's it feeling?
It feels better.
Okay, can you show me a bit of movement through there? Any pain doing that?
No.
Oh, that's brilliant. It looks like it's worked. Okay, And just squeeze that hand again. Okay, we've still got good colour, warmth. Just check your pulse. So we've got really good limb baseline still. That's awesome, Craig. So what I'm going to do, Craig, is just pop a sling on. And what I'd like you to do, it's really important that you keep this on for about 48 hours. Obviously, we want to minimise the movement in that arm. Obviously, you'll want to take it off for showering, which is absolutely fine. It's also important that you see your GP within the next 48 hours. You just want him to assess that the reduction has been fully successful and there's no complications.
Okay.
The other thing is it's really important that you don't drive or use any machinery for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
Now, have you got some ibuprofen, paracetamol at
Yes.
home? So you can take that 4 hourly for any residual pain. Just follow the instructions on the packaging and that will be fine. But remember, only 4 hourly. Okay?
Yep.
So I'm happy to leave you in the care of your wife. I'll write out this care plan. You've had quite a bit of analgesia, so you may not actually remember what I've told you. Okay?
Okay.
So I would just step aside with my colleague, run through the non-transport pause checklist to make sure it's safe to leave Craig at home, and before leaving I would remove the IV from his arm and just run through my care plan with his wife.